koutou tō tātou hakatau, o tira wau nei, ka sikunanga whakamoimiti whakatau, tō tātou mātou nei te rangi, e tō anonga manakitanga, o mātou ngā kautapa i tēnei pō, nō reira a kino i tātou. E te māngai nāre here pono e te tōku o tapu. Tēnei ia hau tā koutou ponunga, e tuku atu nei te reo whakamoimiti whakatau mo e tini manakitanga, e whiwhi nei mātou mangara punu i kai no mai ki tēnei hau. O tira atu tāpō ki tini hētanga, mo i poretanga hoariatanga pai ke tanga katoa. Ka tāhuna atu ka hika pūrapunga atu, ka nohoana tātou runga te nākaripu nei tā, ka pāna hawa e rota te wairua pai, manu i te mākara to heta toko mai, aene, ākene, āe. Ai te māngai nāne hera pono e te toko tō tapu. Tā tatu mana koutou ki waimimi ki tēnā hakamoemiti o mātou. Hei tātou mākupu katoa, e whakapu tēnāna mātou ki roto i tō koutou kororiatanga. Ko koutou no te tīmatanga me te whakaotinga, mai o mātou i tumunako atu ne koutou kororiatanga. Ko koe te māngano hea whina hei tōtoko mai, aene, ākane, āe. O tātou ai te himene whakarea mai. Ka hakorongo tēnei inu i manakitanga o mātou ngā whānau huhu mai tēnei pō. O tira e pāho mai kia mātou ki te haka piki te kaha, piki tōra piki te rangumāriatanga. Ka hakorongia mai kuro te tāro hanua, pai here tiana mātou ki te rangumāri ngā waka toa. Ko koe te māngano hea puna hei tautoko mai, aene, ākene, āmene. Āmene.
A tupu mauri ora ki te whai au ki te ao marama ki rewa mauri ora. Tōku atua, tōku pirima, ka puta, ka ora. E te tuakana nāu tō tātou whakaminenga i te rānei i whakarite. Kia pai ai tō tātou nohoanga mai te timatanga o tēnei kaupapa, tai no atu ki tōna whakatutukitanga. Kia pai anō hoki te noho a te Māori ki roto i ngā mahi rurua o te wāne. Mai tāmaki makaura, anga atu ki roto i a tāua o ngākuhi ki roto o Waitangi. Mō hiona tātou ko te tini o tāua te Māori, ka hīkoi i te nukuroa, kia taupai ai ki roto i ngā kaupapa maha. Huri noa i te motu whānui tēnei ka tautoko atu. Ko reira noho ai tātou katoa kia whiriwhiri ake ko wai o rātou, kua huri tuara mai kia mātou e tangine. Kāti ki roto i ngā wiki, ki roto i te marama, kua pahuri ake nei he tini, he manu. Mai i te teiteitanga o te ao tō rangapu, taino atu ki runga i ngā marae huri noa. Mai i te kaumātua, anaki mō tātou tamariki. Te hunga kua riro atu, tēnei kā mihi, tēnei kā tangi. Nā, kua rongo atua hau i te kōrero i te rāne, kua whakahokia te mokopuna atāri ana ki runga i tana marae, ki rangi tā hua ki roto o whangai. Nō reire e tika ana ki a tangihia o tātou tamaiti. Kua riro atu ki te pō, nā hoi nā tātou e mea te wana, tēnei mea te mate, ai mārika, he mea mauroa, he mea ka pori nei te mahara. Nō reira haere ngā kawa tūnuku, tūrangi, tūpapai, tūwai atāri. Te hunga kua riro atu ki te pō, me ngia nei a ngā puhi haere mai haere. Nā ka whakahokia mai ngā rārangi kōrero ki a tātou katoa e huitahi nei tēnā tātou. E kara e ōteni, e mōhi ana koe ki roto i te maramaya e tū mai nei, nā ka rua rautau te pakanga ki roto o te ikaranga anu. Koe nei tāku o ngā puhi e tiro atu ana ki a koe taku matua ki roto i a Ngāti Whātua. Ko ngā hitori, ko ngā whakapapa e wānga nui a tāua, koe nā te māhuri i te rāna. E kara e ōtene e mihi atu ana ki a koe, kāti ki a Ngāti Whātua. Anā, te tau whiro tama o te tau mamai o ngā puhi ki roto i ngā tau maha, kua pahuri ake nei e ōtene e mihi atu ana ki a. E tāpai ake ko ngā mihi ki runga i a tāua e te pāpā e he manu. Te āhuatanga ki tō tāua waka a mā tātua. Ki atua hau ki a koe, haere mai hoki mai. Haere mai hoki mai ki o whanaunga ki roto i a ngā puhi. I tō marae e tūne. Mōhio anau, kua roa rawa koe tautoko atu ana i ngā mahi ki runga i tēnei marae. Ki runga i ngā marae huri noa te wāhi o tāma ki makaurau. O te mana o nui ki a puare mai anō ngā kuaha o te tāua whare a te tirao a tai wākene. Kia rite mai anō mo te hui nui atu hoi, anā ko te hui ahurei a te apereira e tū mai ni. Kāti te pāpai he mana. Kua roa rawa koe e tautoko atu ana i tēnei kaupapa. Haumara ko te riki, ko te hutu kōro, ko te ahatu rāni. E ki te ngātu i a koe he hoki ngā maha. E mihi atu ana ki a koe taku pāpa. Taku hoananga kia ki roto i ngā mahi pāpā o hutu kōro ki ngā tau. Hari kua kia ki te atu au i a koe taku pāpā e he mana kāti. Kia koutou e ngā mana nui, ngā tapu nui e kare e jaini. Tēnā tui a mai te mana o mātua o tūpuna, anā ki roto i a tāmaki, anā ki a pai ai tō tātou nohoanga ki raro i te tua nui, ki runga no hoki i tēnei whino o te māhure e taune. E kare e jaini, o te whakaaro nui, anā ki tō tātou ki. Aha kua riro atu ia ki roto i ngā tau, ki roto i ngā marama kua pahure ake nei, e waka i te kori tonu ki runga i te mahara. Anā ka whai whakaaro ake anō ki aia, e tika ana kia mihi. Anā, ko koe kōru o pātara, anā ko koutou, e tāwera, koutou tēnā, haria mai te mana o te kingi. Te mana o te kingi tanga ki roto i tēnei kaupapa. Mōhi ona tāu, te kingi, e hoa. Tōna ngākau, ko te riki. Kōrero happy new year ki a tātou. Me taku hari e kara e he mana, kia huitahi ai tātou ki runga i tētahi kaupapa, ke atu i te porotiki, ke atu i te tiriti o Waitangi, ke atu i ngā mahi katoa e tōtō ia nei e tāua te Māori. E tika ana kia tae mai tātou ki runga i tēnei mea e ngākau nui tia ana te Māori, anā ko te riki, anā ko te riki Māori. Nō reira, haere mai te kaupapa, hoki mai te kaupapa. Kua roa rawa tēnei whānau, te whānau pānapa, kua roa rawa tēnei marae, e tautoko atu ana i ngā mahi riki o te ao Māori. Hoki atu anō rā ki te taima o tōku tuakana a rāpata ki roto i te tīma, ana, me konei te whānau pānapa hei tautoko ake kaupapa o te riki Māori. Nō reira, kia angātu ki ngā mahi nui o te tau kei nui i a tātou, anā ko te kēmu, ko te tukinga nui ki roto i te whenua moe a, ka mutu ko te tīmatanga o te tau riki NRL ki roto o Las Vegas, a Taiwa kene. Me te hia ki a toa anō tō tātou tīma, te tīma Warriors. Nō reira kāti, e o kuranga tira huri noa, i o tātou ki ngā kokonga katoa o tātou whare e tūnei, e ki pēnei ana ki a tātou nau mai, hei mai, kia ora tātou tātou.
Te whakapapao, te whakapapao te wai nui a te a, ka moi a tangotango, ka putako, moana nui, moana roa, moana hakere, moana potango, moana
Tū i te rerepo.
moana tū i te wā.
Āpiti hono tātai hono rātou kōrero atu ko te pō, hei mai haere. Āpiti hono tātai hono, kia tātou me tō tātou kaupapa e taunei e mihi atu ana. Ka mutu e kara e he mana, ka whai whakaroa ki anō au ki te hui, ka tua te wiki e tū mai nei, te whakapuaretanga o te kura o tīpene. Ana kei konei etahi o ngā toa tawhito o te kura o tīpene. Wikitoria, ana ka ngā tūri o Wikitoria. E awa ko aua kaupapa katoa ko tōna pai, e tū āpapa mo te oranga o te ao riki a tai wake nei. O a tātou te maiti Māori, ka haere atu ki tīpene, ki mihia e te ao riki kāti. Tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou. Kia ora tātou. Ea koutou.
Tau, tēnā tātou, wa tūtui nei, te haramai te whakaomore, tātou.
I hei Māori o, koe tū te whenua, koe tū te tiri, koe tū Māori. Ka tahi, te mahuri huri, te papai waho, nā whare tūne tēnā koe. Tūrua, ka piri atu o tātou tiri, e tarangatira piri tika tātou. Ka wea mai nā tini mate, roto i ahau i a mātātou. E whaari ki hātai nā tini autua, mai te taiki perau, a kāri tu atu, ki tu hetia, tērā, tātou ki tika tātou te mahamata, nari te mahara, kai te kore. Nā reira koutou te huna mata, koutou ki a koutou, kuri tuara atu, tātou ki a tātou, te kanoni ki kimo nei, kia ora tātou. E te minita whakahaere i nā karaki. E tātou patu nei tēnei o purangatira, la pēni, kia whāngani heo mai te uru te maiua, ki roto i tēnei whare, ki roto i tēnei hākari ātātou. Ara, te haere mai, amete. Nāre, tēnā. Are, kai te karo, e wheni, nā te whātu. Ina te aha tono te whenua. E tū nei, tēnei o tātou mga mātu. O ki atu, ki tēnei whare, e nui te maumahara, e ka hāne te puri, te ahuatanga o nā rā maumahara. Mō mātara ko tūmatauren, e rātai, ara te rā, e Elias. Ko ki mai, kia pōrua, ko te whakike, e te kua John, o te Christian. Me nā tamariki, whakaropu, te ātāhua o tēnei hei mai, ki konei, o kia tātou kuri atu. Tēnā rā wāti, koutou. E te purana tira pēni, ka nui tō tāua pēni. Pakorero koe mo tēnei whaka. Wēnei ka whare, tīma te ngāsa koe, kāpoi te minitare. I hana kunei koe nohona, tā mai he mana ki konei, ki te ati ki te nuku mo ki konei ko te whakamahana, tēnei o tātou. Nā rei ka nui, e tika tumi tāha, ke tika tumi nei. Koutou, nā manuhi, tātou ko tāna ni ki konei. Tūpoko tēnei, ki te whakautu, nā mihi whakau mai, ki tēnei ki tēnei Māori. Apiri. Hoki mai, ki rote nā whakataitai, o te matatini. Kāre tuatu a te whānau apone. Te moho mai koutou ko tā, tamari ki ka tākero te tērā, nōku nō nā te tāwhāna ki Hoi no, te kore o whakamahau te akotana o tēnā rā nui te karumai nei kapi ora hau. Ai whakautuatu o kore o tīpeni, tino tika taha. Ai te kore o tonu mao o tuarina titia te akotana whakatiwhera tana, kia tika te whakatiwhera. Ai aha, ai tuara mo te kura, me nā tau wātatau tamariki, ka tūkua te kireira, no mua whakawhananga. Nā rei, o te tāhuhu o te mātau rana, paruia mai e rāta te orana mō tātai. Ai te mamai te tahi tanata, i ruatoki, ia iei ki rana, anei, tīpeni, arau pai te whakahoita nei no kua kai arahi o kai. Te namanei te iei ki nei ki rana, papai ana te tūngā tuku. Rohe o tūkoe, ka tāmai nā kai, vai tūkoe, ai whakaora e tō rākau kui. Arau te mea ka pēne te e tau, inari, o te arohanui i te manāki i tō tākau kui. Me te wawata, tērā tōna wā a tuwhera mai a wikitōri. Te tuahine, o nā tāra, ara tīpere. Tare e tā tātou o tau nei, tēnei, te mihiatu. Kia koutou ruto tēnei te tauhou a te pākea. Wai hotia a mata e kōrero no te. Tērā wā, tērā pēr, wai ki atua pēni i te tahi taumata noati. Hei whaka, kakama hei whaka. Wera wera, tana rōku pāki o reita. Mutina mā te kore take. Kōrero whakanau. Tāre, huri noi nā kukona. O te tikuna wharena, me te marae a te tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Kia ora tātou.
Ia whakamoneti, whakawhera.
Kia ora tātou.
Era mai ki te hariru.
Tūrongoroko ia te pō, tā kiri ko te ata, ka wheki, ka whekara, ki te matahau no tū. No tū te wini, tū te wana, tū whakaputaina ki te whai ao, ki te ao marama, tihei, a mauri ora. A tuatahi ake, kei te pā whakawairua, nāu I tuku I ngā whakamoimiti, ngā whakawhetai ki tāturi te rangi, e kore e mutu ngā mihi kia koe. I tui a te rangi e tui honei ki te papa e takoto nei. I tui a te papa e takoto nei ki te rangi e tui honei. Ka mutu, tēnā koe, kei te arero tapu, mōu, I tuku I ngā whakamoimiti, ka taunga tauwhirotanga te wāhi ngaro, ki runga I a tātou, I tēnei ki o ngā rangi. Hoki kōmiri anō, hoki ngā whakaro, ki te rao o ngā whare ariki o pōta tau te wherowhero, e noho tau te wherowhero, te tuawaru, mōna e noho nei, he pīkau nei, I ngā mahi toima honga I tātou te iwi Māori. Aotira, Aotearoa whānui tōna. Mōna, I whakaeke ki runga anō hoki a tani whai te rangi nei, mōna I tupu ki te hua o te rengarenga, mōna I whakapakari ki te hua o te kawariki. Ana, kuia te kaupapa o te rangi nei, mōna, haere ki runga I a tani whamarai, ki te awhinei te pani I te pauaru me te rawa kore. Ana, no reire, kei ao tātou mate, kui taina ki runga I a tātou, I roto I te tau kāhori, haere atu rā koutou, e piki rā, I te piki, te aka I piki ai a tāwhaki, ki te pūtahi nui o rei hua. Ko tahi atu rā, ki te kāhui, whetū o matariki, ki reira whetū rangiti ai. Anō reira koutou e takahinei te arakuiti kia hinui te pō, haere, oki atu rā. Ana, ke hoki mai ngā mihi ka tātou, te hunga ora tātou, kua whakarauika mai nei raro I te tuanui a tēnei o ngā whare a tāhua rawa atu nei, kua whakaimeke mai nā ki runga I te papa e takoto nei, tēnā koutou, kia ora, hui mai, tātou katoa, e mihi nei. O tira, kia koe, e taranga atira, e pēni, nau anō hoki ngā mihi kia tātou, I roto I tā tātou whakatau, me te mōhio anō hoki te huhua, o ngā mahi kūtaina ki runga kia koe, hei pīkautanga māu I roto I te roanga, ngā tani whatoko torura, e kaha pēhi nei a tātou te iwi Māori, ko koe tērā, me ngā kanohi Māori, ke roto I te whare miere, e pakanga ana, kia tū, toi tū, te Māori, te mana Māori motuhake, ke toi tū te titiri, ka toi tū, tātou katoa I roto I te neo ngā o. Nō reire, mihi ana ki a koe I whakawātea mai I a koe, te haere mai I te neo ngā po. O tira, kei te hunga o te moana nui a kiwa, tātou tuakana, tēnā koutou I haere mai nei I te rangi nei, ki te tuku I tō aroha ki te neo ngā kaupapa o tātou. Ara, Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League, I roto I ngā tau, tainua ki tēnei wā e tikana kia mihi a koutou, ngā mautere o te moana nui a kiwa, tēnā koutou te haere mai nei. O tira, Aotearoa New Zealand Rugby League, ngā kanohi hara mai hei māngai ma te rao ngā ngoa o ngā poari, e mihi atu ana no hoki ki a koutou, I haere mai nei, ki te tautoko I te nea o ngā kaupapa, ko roa nei e tautoko ana I te nea o ngā kaupapa o tātou. Me te mōhio anō hoki a rā te tehi hunga, e kaha whiua nei I ngā kupu whakaparahako I te nea o ngā kaupapa, nā runga I te pōhehe, he kaikiri tēnei mea, te whakatūria I te tehi kaupapa Māori rawa atu nei. Hoi anō, hei aha ma tātou, e rā kupu a rātou. Anō reira, e mihi ana ki a koutou, New Zealand Rugby League e tautoko nei tēnei o ngā kaupapa. Kei te kitau I anō hoki e tehi o ngā kaiwawao, kei rātou anō hoki, ngā mahi toimaha I roto I tēnei kaupapa o te riki, ko tai mai ki te whakakanohi I tērā hunga, ngā kaiwawao, tēnā koutou, Sani, koutou mo tō hunga, I hara mai te rangi nei, e mihi atu ana ki a koutou anō hoki. Hoi anō rā. Welcome everybody to the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League, the first ever season and apparel launch for 2025. Homai te paki. Of course, we had a successful 2024 season of Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League tournaments, the biggest numbers and the biggest participation we've had since, I think it's 32 years ago. We started this kaupapa back in Pōneke with our tuakana tournament, and of course since then we've added our tamariki, our kōtiro, and our teenagers, and many tournaments have added to the calendar as well, and for 31 years we've been jamming that out. So homai te paki for our board of trustees and everybody working behind the scenes to bring that and creating pathways for our rangatahi to be able to fulfill their dreams of becoming one time in their life a NRL or maybe a NRLW player as well. Tika ka mihi a tātou wahine. A tātou wahine, it's the biggest growth in our Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League tournaments, is the growth in our wahine space. And we've got some of our legends who have turned up here today as well. Koutou, ngā māreikura, tēnā koutou haere mai ne, ki te tautoko, ki te āwhina, ia tātou kōhine roto i te tau, tēnā koutou te haere mai ne. And without, of course, our wahine and us men know, we can talk it all at the front, but it's our wahine behind us who make sure that we get the job done. So omai te paki for our wahine as well, both in front and behind the scenes as well. Okay, that's enough talking from Pātara. We're going to hand it over to JD to do a official welcome, of course, to all of our members here. Chairman of the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League, Chairman of the Pacific Aotearoa Collective, and of course, a Director on the New Zealand Rugby League Board as well. Omai te paki, John Devonshire, aka JD.
Hey, kia ora Pātara. You can see with Pātara skills, that's why he's our ground announcer at our tournaments. And thank you, Pātara, for coming today. On my notes, it says, welcome the special people. Okay, so we're all special. So welcome, everyone. We all are one as in kotaitanga and whakawhanaungatanga. And no disrespect to my mainstream colleagues on my right, but that's our Māori way. Our Māori way is we're all the same. And I see the chairman over there, so I acknowledge you, Justin. Yeah, I see you on Wednesday. Yeah, rea hui. But awesome to have us all here to start our year. It was to coincide with a couple of kaupapa with our apparel sponsor, Dynasty, Jamal and Tyler. And I thought the red carpet was for Penny and the Labour Party, but they told me it's for the fashion show. So aroa mai Penny. I didn't see any patches, so I didn't think it was those other fellas. So I think the law says you're not allowed to wear patches. So I don't know about our tohu, our Māori tohu, but we wear that anyway. Yeah, because we own the land. Ka pai. A couple of apologies. Howie Tamari on our board. He's been unwell and had some family circumstances. Also, Mano is our representative in Australia, and Mano is based in Sydney. We have 5 states that have Nahoe Whā Māori teams in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Western Australia, and South Australia too. So we're over there in 2 weeks, and our Puari, Titi and myself, we're connecting with our states, our Māori affiliates, and they affiliate to us as a Māori Rugby League. There was one of the uncles, I think he was from Ngāpui. He wanted to be Australian Māori Rugby League, so we soon stopped that, Penny. I think he was from Kawakawa or somewhere. Yeah. But anyway, hey, so I just wanted to welcome. We've got a few tonight. We've got a program, but it's about the launch. Also, I just wanted to acknowledge the 1996 New Zealand Māori team that played Great Britain. Homai te paki for our table over there. Yeah, and they'll have a kōrero and Tawara's leading that, and that's a little bit of a get-together for them. So I acknowledge them. I just wanted to show our board so you know our puari, and Dave's going to bring it up for us. And it's just, we're a small board, but we're a tight board, and we've got different roles. You'll see the tournaments tonight. Quite fascinating. When I proofread the presentations and stuff, bro, it's quite overwhelming, to be honest, whānau. And you'll see that this afternoon, just about with the numbers. You do 6 or 7 tournaments and you think, oh yeah, it's another tournament. I see you on Monday, kids, and you go home and resume normal life. But at the end of the day, the numbers are quite staggering. And like you said, Pātara, especially in that kōrero space, yeah, it's quite huge. So we'll do that. We'll also have an update on the All-Stars. We've got the squads, we've got the staff, and the NRL had hoped to release the squads of 20 yesterday, but in true NRL fashion, they didn't. So you're going to get a preview of them. So it's confidential. Just tell your whānau and say JD said. Yeah, ka pai. So yeah, we got that. We got the All-Stars presentation. Then we'll have Tāwara. He'll give a little recite. I don't know some of those stories he tells. Stay on tour with that team, but yeah, we'll have an insight into that '96 game, and then of course the launch of our stuff with Dynasty. The other thing I wanted to mention was that we also got PAC. I just want to acknowledge PAC because we're all part of the Pacific, we're all Polynesian, and we got Phil, who's the secretary of PAC, but I see and Phil represents Niue. We got Henry down there from the Cook Islands, Ronnie Tukalau. I don't know if Jeff's arrived from Samoa, and Hingi from Tonga, and then we have Manil from Fiji. So we have 7 nations, and people said it wouldn't work. People said you'll end up having a fight in the car park, and it just won't work, JD. But I'm pleased to say 4 or 5 years later, it's still working. I remember when Greg Peters, and he put his apology in too, sorry, from NZRL. Him and Mutu come to the meeting at Mangere East, and we said, welcome to the hui. We brought a plate, so come over here and sit at the table and have some KFC with us. Yeah, so we sat down, we had a kai, and that's how we did it with my Polynesian brothers and sisters. So I acknowledge that pack down there, and humai te whakapaki for my pack brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm still trying to wait for the slides, so I'll keep talking. But it's an initiative that sometimes, and maybe I'm not being critical, but we have tangihana, we all come together as a whānau. And I want to acknowledge Kath, who lay here prior to Christmas, Kath Kirimete, and her passing. And sometimes, we used to all come together as a whānau for weddings, but now they live together in sin, so we don't have weddings. So it's good to come together. It's good to come together as a whānau and just celebrate each other's company, whānau, and acknowledge, just acknowledge ourselves. And the kumara never talks of its sweetness, but I love kumara, especially baked. And that brings me on to something that's very close to my heart, very dear, and very passionate and sincere about that, and that's the menu. Okay, so we're very lucky. And this is all about connections, and I love how whakawhanaungatanga whakapapa connects us. And we've got a Kaising Karene here, and they're going to have a kōrero a little bit later. And we're very fortunate to have master chefs and be Māori and to celebrate. And it's Māori helping Māori. Yeah, so humai te pakipaki for that. Yeah. And so you've got to give congratulations out to their parents, Kerry and his lovely lady over here. Thank you very much for producing such wonderful chefs. And if you didn't know, Kerry's the CEO of the One Foundation based in Rotorua. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, but we acknowledge Kerry and his lovely lady. Also, someone that was very close to her heart was Lynn Preston, that passed away yesterday. She looked after our grants, and she helped us. She was a beautiful lady and a beautiful soul, and we thank you. So we ngā mihi to you, Kerry, and the One Foundation. Okay, and also those other special people that we've got there. Okay, I don't know how we're getting on, but okay, Waiata. Sorry, come back about midnight. But so just waiting. How are we getting on over there, Dave? Emma? Yeah. Okay, so that's about me, whānau. So enjoy the night, we're flexible as, we've got some thank yous and some acknowledgements later in the evening. So maybe to kill a bit of time, and he doesn't know this, but I'm going to call the chairman of New Zealand Rugby League up, Justin. Okay, let's say a few words, and just nod. And no more welcome, brother, and to our fellow board trustees, directors over here. Thanks, Justin.
Kia ora te whānau. Thanks, JD. When JD invited me last week, I thought, this is a real privilege to come to this, but I also, part of me was thinking, about time I got a free beer from JD. So I'm having one, I'll see where I end up. First of all, I just want to acknowledge all of you really for the mahi that you guys do around the country. In 2018, NZRL changed their constitution to make way for representative from Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League to automatically sit on the New Zealand Rugby League board. And it's probably one of the most game-changing decisions that board has made in a long, long time. And it's not only just about the personality that we've got on our board now, but it's about perspective and understanding and remembering where the games come from. Because yes, NZRL does a lot of the shiny work, but the heart and soul, you know, the real kaupapa of this game comes from the work that you guys are doing around the country. And we can't match that. You know, no one can match that, ultimately. So I just want to really acknowledge that. I will acknowledge Christine Pānapa, who's a New Zealand Rugby League Life member. Always good to see, I think there's 18 Life members around the country, so good to see you, Christine, and acknowledge you. I'll also say that we've worked hard at NZRL to make sure that we're representing you guys as well. So if you look at our board, over 50% of that board is Māori or Pacifica. And that's been a concerted effort to make sure that we're representing the game. It's a start, it's not the end point, but that's where we're going to. So really just want to acknowledge all the work that you're doing around the country. It's really meaningful. I've been to your tournaments and just there's nothing like it. No one can replicate it. I will acknowledge our board members that are here. Hirami Smiler, who I had to convince to be my deputy, but I'm glad you took that on. Navak Rogers, who is our newest director, Māori Tongan descent, which is great perspective to have. Tāwara, who's our president, we really have him for the raru. We send him in there and he's there, sorts it out. So we've got a good team. So I thank everyone for having us here tonight and enjoy your night. Is that long enough? Or will I tell a joke as well? No, good night.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. And yeah, that was quite a historic moment, that, and it shouldn't be underestimated. I know Hugh was the chair at the time. For 114 years, New Zealand Māori, we started in 1908, and we'd been an independent. We had our own constitution, we had our own way of doing things. And a couple of years ago, like you said, when the NZRL changed their constitution and brought us to the table, the first thing I said to them was, you know, it's been 114 years, so you're on trial for the next 114 years. So, you know, because in a respectful way, as a people, we're resilient, and we'll carry on regardless. We carry on regardless. And, yeah, we own the land. So, yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure on behalf of Māori Rugby League. And, yeah, and we don't pretend to be mainstream because we're unique. We do things ourselves, and we'll have an argument to kai, and then we might have a new after that. So it's all good. But yeah, okay, here we go. We're hopefully, did you put another $2 in? The meter? Oh no, yeah. Hopefully she's rebooted, and we can get on with our presentations and whatnot. Yeah. Also tonight we've got a little bit of entertainment with not only the band, we've got a kapahaka rōpū from Te Wharekura of Rākaumanga, and part of our All-Stars planning and trip is that we always take a kapahaka rōpū with us, because the very first one, when we went to Melbourne, there was a local Melbourne group, and no disrespect to them, but it wasn't that great, and we knew we'd do better, and not to be spiteful or anything, but yeah, so from there on then we insisted to the NRL that we bring the haukainga over that are, you know, are more aligned to our kapahaka, and we acknowledge, you know, other rōpū over there, so yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get on with it, and we'll move on. Okay, and the first, I'm going to call up our tournament. On the board, we've got portfolios, and one of them's tournaments, and that's Titia Graham. So, Titia Graham, Homai, Secretary. Yeah, thank you.
And I always do this to JD, and so I'm going to change it, because I do. I mai tērā, tuatahi, kai te tautoko i ngā mihi kua uhia, kia koutou kua taimai, I waina nui tēnei i a mātou ki te whakanui, ki te whakarewa i wā mātou kākahui tēnei pō, tēnā rā koutou katoa. That's the problem, we get too dependent on technology, and then when it doesn't work, it's like a bit of a bugger. So we should have run the VARC first and got Māori TV to come and sort this out for us. But we'll know for next time. Hoi anō, before I do my kōrero, the first part of our agenda was actually to introduce our board members. So they don't need introduction, and they can speak for themselves. So I'll just call them up and they can have a bit of a kōrero koe rātou no here. And we're going to pick on the ones who came on late. So Paul's right in front of my line of sight. So Paul's going to come up here and introduce himself. Kia koutou hara mai, Paul. He's board member number 1.
Kia ora tātou te whānau, te amara ko te Māori 2, te Māori noho, ko te Māori arangi, ko te Māori a papa, ko te Māori eio, te amara ko te aroha, ko tēnei te arohanga tupuna, ui wero, te ao mai te Māori, haume e, hui e, tā ki e. Nau mai, haere mai ki te kaupapa tēnei pō, aroha mai i te whānau, ko ngai ahau, ko pakaru ahau. I've just completed the high rocks this morning, so I'm just trying to get my breath back. Yeah, but just short and sweet, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm grateful. Just like you, we all love the game of rugby league, and it's just great to see the enhancement of our game, but most importantly, the talent that we have in our country in Nainei. And it's important for us to continue to support the kaupapa, to continue to awhi our game. And we only have iti resources, but being on the board now for 10 months, I've noticed that we do a lot of mahi, or you do a lot of mahi, so ki te mihi ki tō mahi, again, awesome to be here and enjoy your night. Mai ora whānau.
Kia ora tātou, mihi atu kia koutou whānau, nau mai hara mai kia tautoko te kaupapa te pōnei, and at the kākahu o Aotearoa Māori Rugby League. Once again, a privilege and a pleasure to be here to acknowledge all the mahi that our board and our staff do. Well, like Justin, really want to acknowledge Christine as a life member for New Zealand Rugby League. Christine, also awesome to see you. And your whānau here. First time I've been to Te Mahurihuri, Tinua Tahua. What a beautiful marae. And the kōrero, and I've heard the kōrero from Christine before about this marae and how it came to be. So to acknowledge all your tupuna and your whānau previously, Christine, and this beautiful piece of paradise here in Tamaki is really awesome. So just a big mihi to you and the whānau. Yeah, my role with on the board of NZRL, New Zealand Māori Rugby League, but previous to that, I was on the board of New Zealand Rugby League for nearly 8 years. I was the only brown person on that board, and very frustrating to be able to get my point of view across when you had the old pale, white, male, stale board around the board table. Very frustrating. Very big pusher for the constitution to be changed, to have ANZ our member now, and with NEVAC and the diversity that we have on their board now, can learn a lot from what we do here at the grassroots level. So, you know, with our people, with our whānau, our tamariki and mokopuna, the potential for the opportunities now, and JD talked about it before, hopefully we'll see it on the screen in a minute, in terms of the growth of our game with our wahine. Massive opportunity. Every team will have a women's team. Every NRL team, there'll be nearly 18 women's teams in that competition. 80% of those whānau will come from here, from New Zealand. Pacific and Māori is the biggest growth area for NRL Rugby League. You've got the PNG team that's coming in. I think Sonny Whakaro said he's Papua New Guinea and he wants to go and play for PNG in the new NRL. He's been there a couple of times, and I think he's got a few kids over there, Sonny. You left a few behind. But anyway, we'll talk about that later when it comes to that. But PNG's another team coming in, potentially another team out of New Zealand. There's another 3 teams coming into the NRL in the next 5 to 6 years. So where's all the growth going to come from? Here. It's Māori and Pacifica are the grassroots of this growth of our game. So, you know, with the pathways at Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League that we have, it's really just giving the opportunity for our tamariki, our mokopuna, to actually grow in this sport. So that's the thing I'm really passionate about, getting those pathways, and we already have them with our tournaments. Every time there's a tournament, I get a ring from a lot of my mates in the NRL who are now coaches, who are now scouts, who are now, do you know this kid? Do you know this family? Can you go and have a talk to him? Every week I get phone calls like that, because they're wanting to target our kids and our tamariki and our mokopuna that are coming through. So what NZRL has been doing, and that's something else we have to go to the board with, JD, is the NRL, is like potentially fund us along with some of that stuff. That's part of our strategy, and that's part of the stuff being Paula involved with in terms of growing Aotearoa Māori New Zealand Rugby League, has given us some more funding to actually develop them, get the higher level coaching, get the higher level, upskilling our coaches, upskilling everyone in our game at this grassroots level to become better, so we have better pathways for our tamariki and mokopuna. So, yeah, very excited. I think your slides are ready to go, JD, so you can get back up here and finish this off. Hey? Or you want the rest of the board to come up? Aye, okay. Ka pai. Thank you, whānau.
Thank you, Tāwara. Okay, I just want to call up my partner in crime, Tracy. There's 4 men on our board, but it only takes 2 of us.
Kui, 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 whiti, whiti, ora, hui e, taki e. Nā mihi mahana kia koutou whānau. Nau mai haere mai ki te marae o te māhurihure. Nau mai haere mai ki te whare o Kuiawai. Ko Tracy Pānapa tōku ingoa. Yes, I look after the money. Money, honey. And like Tāwara said, we always need money. And that's why you're all here. When we open up our Kākahu merchandise shop at 8 o'clock, we want to hear you get your phones out and buy some merchandise and, you know, ching-a-ling-a-ling. So that's my job, to try and get the ching-a-ling-a-ling. And, but just picking up on our board, yes, there's just Satir and myself. JD, he's the thorn in our side, and Tāwera, Paul and Uncle Mano. Yeah, so we're very, very privileged and very, very blessed to have such a great board and actually have heaps of kaimahi that are really, really, you know, we're all volunteers in this game. We might get maybe a night at the Novotel when we're doing some tournaments, but otherwise it's just the passion that we have as Māori and for Māori Rugby League. It's in my DNA. I've got a big, long Māori Rugby League history, not only with my koros, the Asher brothers, Opai and Uni Asher, but also with my husband's grandfather, Pihopa Bishop Pānapa, and also my father and my mother. So I'm very, very blessed and very, very thankful. But out with us, kotahitanga, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. But thank you for coming to our marae, Te Māhurihure, a little place, the universe of Ngāpui, a little place called Waima. We're very, very blessed to have this facility, the vision and foresight from our grandparents, our tupuna, back in 1969, who actually brought this land 5 acres in the heart of Tāmaki Makaurau. So we're very, very thankful, but that's enough for me. Don't forget, 8 o'clock, whānau. 8 o'clock, we'll have a countdown. Make sure you hear that countdown and get your phones out and buy some of our merch. So kia ora tātou.
Kia ora tātou. Ko mātātua te waka a mātātua, ko mātātua te waka. Ko taia rehia te mauna, ko hine matoro te awa, ko ruatoki te kaina, ko mā hure te hapu. Yeah, so I think, so there's always going to be a little bit of whose is what but it's always good. It's really healthy to have friendships and alliances where we all know and we can share our whakapapa and the histories around that. So mihi ana kia koutou katoa, ko titia koe am tōku ingoa. I'm going to just carry on because we're running out of time and there's plenty of other things we want to talk about. But the cover of the presentation said, he hoki ngā whakamuri ki te ana whakamua. So this is just about taking us all back in some of the history around our tournaments, and then as well as that to then tell you what's happening. So hopefully you all know that our kaupapa currently runs 6 tournaments, and these are our tournaments. I'm going to go through them individually, but just to say, our kaupapa actually started in 1908, and fast track 117 years from that, this is what it's doing now. So hopefully our tipuna and all those people that had the vision to establish a kaupapa that was about Māori and honouring Māori, playing Māori Rugby League, hope we pay homage to them for what you're going to see. All right, we start off with our, did we miss Tamariki? Sorry, Tamariki, I wanted that, because Tamariki has been our fastest growing sport. Just imagine that. If you see down the bottom, in 2024, we had over 115 teams in Rotorua last year. And you can just imagine all the nannies, the whānau, all running around the Rotorua. And we had to split it, 2 venues. One at Puketawhero and another one in Puerani. So, I'm at Puketawhero, I have to shoot off to the Novotel because we left something there for the office. I couldn't get through the main drag because it was too packed with all the tamariki and the nannies and the koros trying to cross the road, or all the cars up along the stop banks. And I was thinking, oh no, JD's going to get another email from Rotorua Lakes Council saying, your fellas people. But anyway, the growth in tamariki was tremendous and humongous. And also just to say, after COVID, we had planned for 45 teams. We got over 80 people wanting to register their teams. So, of course, what do? We don't have much money, but how can we turn away 40 teams? So we took them all on with our 40 teams funding. The next year, we planned for 80 teams. We had 96. It was like that. And then one year, we actually had to turn some away. So last year, we said, no, we're not going to do that. So we didn't. Te Taina, the same with that, established in 2015. In 2022, 28 teams, growing 54 teams, almost doubled. And those are our 13s, 14s tama. Kōtiro, and like Patara said and JD said, huge growth in our kōtiro space. Once upon a time, we only had 6 teams, and we struggled to get kōtiro teams. And then we amalgamated our teams, but then from there, we realised we had to split our teams because the interest was so high. And in 2024, if you see there, 27 teams in Teina Kōtiro and 21 teams in Ranatahi Kōtiro. That's the growth. And that's what's happening because people, their icons like Honey and all these other people, Trish, have all paved the way and care for these kōtiro to aspire to be greater and represents Māori at those higher levels. Ranatahi, again, in 2000, established in 2000, and in 2022, we did 3 years, 28 teams, 2024, 44 teams. It just keeps growing. And actually, it's like that because we stopped it at 44 teams, because it could have been more, but we haven't got enough fields, or we're not allowed at the moment to have more than 44. But I'm looking at Nolani and, she might think. Tuakana, established in 1993, our longest running tournament with Wahine, Waka and Rohe. Again, in 2022, after COVID, it was a bit quiet with 30 teams, but in 2024, they've all come back with 45 teams. I think it's only just going to keep growing with what's happening with the Wahine space, and even with the men's space and all the pathways that are available there for our aspiring players. The wrap-up of 2024 of what I talked to you about, there it goes. Tamariki, 115 teams. Teina, 54 teams. Teina Kōtiro, 27 teams. And then it goes through who won, who were our haka, because haka's an important part of our kaupapa. It's really, for us, it's not about the rugby league, it's actually about haka. And it was all of this, I know it's going quickly, we're going to share at our AGM and it'll be up on our website. But there's the numbers, just, you know, for everybody to see and for our tournaments. And that's the total. So what's 2025 looking like in terms of our tournaments? Because this is really what I was meant to talk to you about. We're doing this again, but we're now got 7 tournaments. Because we thought we better add another tournament because, you know, we don't work hard enough anyway, so we add another one in. And so that's our 19th, because we thought we need a pathway still for our tama, because some of them is too early to go from 18s, from 17s straight to tuakana, so we've put that pathway in for them to be recognised. So there it is. So write that down in your diaries and get prepared for our tournaments. And then just on behalf of everybody there, that's only half our team. I just do really want to acknowledge as a board member on behalf of our board, all our volunteers. We couldn't have done it without them. No, they get paid and they get breakfast, they get somewhere to stay. Sometimes we can afford to pay them petrol, but you know, but they come because of the kaupapa. And especially so too, we want to recognise our kaiwawao, our referees. It's not easy being a referee, but we all know that without referees, there's no game. So, you know, we really value and appreciate all the kaiwawao that come to our tournament and tautoko our tournament. And the growth in our kaiwawao has been the same as that. Actually, not so long ago, it was really hard for us to get kaiwawao referees. It got to the point that at a Taina tournament, JD was on the field with a whistle and I was running the line. So, you know, I'm so glad we don't have to do that anymore. And that we are able to have at least 20 to 25 referees. And at the last, and I think at Tuakana we had about 38, Sunny, the growth and even our referees coming. Because you know what? You know why they come, I think, Sunny? Because they, when I say they get a kai, they get a kai. You know, we're manaki. We don't hit them out with the kai. It's the manaki, and we make sure we manaki our people as best we can. Because it's not an easy thing, but we all do it for the passion. And hopefully you saw that in our presentation. And once again, thank you all for coming, and we'll look forward to your support in 2025 as we go through our 7-year program.
Thank you. Yeah, it's quite, you know, year 2000, I remember down the tournament in 2000, and there were 2 rangatai teams, Te Whanganui-Atara and Auckland Māori. So to come to 6,000, it's a testimony to the passion and the mahi. Thank you, Dave, for getting it going. I was just wondering if I was going to go over and talk to Kerry and get some funding for a new laptop, but kei te pai. Hey, there's some names mentioned and moving along. I do want to acknowledge the Rotorua Lakes Council. That they're here. They've made an effort to get up here, Jolene and Nolani, and also one of me, I know she's not a councillor, but she thinks she's a councillor, that's Jenny Nahu, Puke Te Whero Park. I feel that New Zealand Māori Rugby League own half that park for the number of years we've been there and given a koha. So I'd like to call up Jolene, please, from the Rotorua Lakes Council and accept our acknowledgement on our behalf from us. Thank you, Jolene or Nalani, whoever. No worries. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, thank you. It was good to have the All-Stars in Rotorua in your city. Tremendous occasion, tremendous event. And we thank Anadu and Mayor Tanya. It was good to have her in Townsville last year as part of our ropu. And yeah, here's hoping we can get one back to Aotearoa next year. Also, there's only one way to tell it, and that's to tell it straight. Just like running it up. People said to me, what did NZRL give you for your tournament? And I said, they didn't know it was on. Yeah. And it got to me, and then I sat at that table, and I said, I'm part of the team now. So I approached the CEO, Greg Peters, and I said, hey, people are saying, what does NZRL do for your tournament? And he said, what did you say? And I said, nothing. Okay. So he said, what do you want? And I said, I wouldn't mind this koha. It was a good amount. For I'd go high, he'd say no, and he'd come in here. To be fair to GP, he went high, didn't hesitate. He said, send your bank account details up. So I got Tracy to send it up. The next day we had a koha. And we've had a koha for the last 4 years. And that's the way it should be. It's an investment. I think they use our numbers for some of their funding. But that's all right. Because when Titia was giving her presentation, I seen Justin taking photos of the numbers. Yeah, so we might double it this year, my brother. But hey, we'd like to acknowledge the NZRL. Thank you, Justin, for their contribution. Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Titia. Okay. Next up, in our pathways, in our high performance, we have, you play for Hokianga Storm or you play for Tuhui, you come to the tournament, you get picked in the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori age group teams or tuakana teams, and I see our convener of all our selectors down there, Tipene Noura, namahi to you and your team, my brother. I see Cody here. And then we come here and we have a pack tournament, Pacific Aotearoa Collective. I mentioned the nations before, so I'd like to give them this opportunity because we help and we extend the hand of friendship and aroha to our Pacific brothers. So I'm going to call up the secretary, please, Phil, if you'd come forward, and he's got a quick presentation, which will be followed by the starters. Thank you, Phil. Yeah.
Whakarowhai atu, kung tolosi, ko e ngā haku Philip Mea. Greetings, kirana, talo ni, malolelei. Thank you very much. I don't have jokes like JD, but you pretty much can get the gist of how he runs our meetings. He is very, very true. People were skeptical at the start. This is not a new thing. And people thought we'll be fighting, and JD's actually the referee. But the only thing we ever argue about is the draw. On-field stuff. But a couple of years ago, we were all brought together at the Warriors with Sponge, Tony Edo, Jordan Friend, big shout out to them. And there was about 6 nations that came in to play in the PYC, which is on the screen above. What happened back then in those early meetings in 2016 has morphed into today. We didn't expect it to go this far. We've done things like play at stadiums, hire the stadium. So, we're quick learners. JD knows we were pretty fast learners, myself, Hingi, and a couple of others. Now we know how to talk to the Palangis. Now we know the figures. Yeah, so thank you, One Foundation. To take the PYC to North Harbour Stadium, it was historic. Thank you for the backing back then from NZRL, because we were the first sporting tournament coming out of lockdown in the country. I mean, there were a lot of people trying to figure out how we did it, but we were quite proud of it. And to play on Sky TV, which is for the youth format, was very, very new. The PYC at the moment is the only international tournament for the youth space, and that's ours. And people have challenged me, but I said, you tell me where there's players coming from the Pacific Islands. Now we say it's Pacifica, but it's all just New Zealand kids, Australian. But full credit last year in our kōrero space, Cook Islands, Tonga, they had girls come over and play in the tournament. In the boys space, I had about 12 boys come from Niue. So when you say Pacifica, it is true definition of that. But when we play the Māoris, we're playing the best of the Māoris. And I have to admit, I stand on everything I say. Thank you to JD. A couple of years ago, he invited me in as part of PAC to see how they run the tournaments. It was an eye-opener. And I actually went back to the boys and said, man, where we are about 3-5 years behind. But as I said, we're fast learners, and the Tongans were the cleverest, and they got a national tournament. I think they won half the grades last year. But Hingy, you know, he's not here today. We enjoyed all the advice that JD gives us. But one thing that we all can testify and we're all happy with is the way the NZRL are united. One voice, one sound. Okay, and then that's resonated with our organisations. Now we have, all our nations have players coming in from all around Australia, and right up from Opanoni, right down to Invercargill. So all the nations, you know, it's not an Auckland thing, even though Auckland is the spiritual home of Pacifica Rugby League for us, because when we came here in the 60s and 70s, we played in the city. Now we're pulling in players from everywhere. Some of the brothers are having national trials. I can say myself, I had a trial and I had kids drive in from all around North Island. You know, this is little Niue, and I'm a minority amongst a minority. But I thank JD's leadership for welcoming us all in. All our flags are the same size. Hey, brother? Yep. And, you know, I thank the Māoris for all the food that they fed us over the years, because you're still the best at that. So that's our girls' festival is the first one up. 2022, JD, I spoke to JD, we need to give the quartet their own space. And so we ran that tournament. Out of that tournament, there's 4 girls, 2 from the Māori, 2 from the Samoans. They're actually playing NRLW now. Okay, and their names are up on the screen. In the boys' space, I think we're sitting around 13. You know, so that's what the tournament is. But you know what you've got to understand, and JD always repeats this, is culture. That's what defines and makes us different. Because you know, the kid from Tokura, the kid from Niue, they're there to play for the jersey and the people. You know, and it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling having all the people come out. Big shout out to Bay Roskell for letting us use the facilities. We've been there a couple of years. Yes, we've taken the tournament around the city to the Manganese Hawks. We went down to Navigation Home Stadium last year. That was our opener. Those sort of moves, you know, if you asked about us 10 years ago, people kind of look at you sideways. You know, can we pull that sort of stuff off? But we can. You know, and again, you know, JD is always... thank you for the 5 phone calls this week, JD. Yes, I made sure I was here today and did the presentation. Those are our partners, but a big shout out to One Foundation. Look, your funding covered all our toilets, the fencing, the medical. You know, those are the things that are really important for the tournament, and also the referees. You know, we can't expect them just to do it for a pie and a drink. You know, especially with the crowds that we bring, because some of those games are pretty intense, man. Especially when you're getting closer to the finals. You know, full credit for there. Big shout out to the Warriors. They're our major partner. We signed a deal with them in 2022. That was historic in itself because there's no collective like ours that is partner with an NRL club. Okay, as you know, some of our whānau in Australia think they're better than us, but that humbled them. I know myself amongst my own lot, you know, at the end of the day. Full credit to them. Full credit to Greg Peters and NZRL. One thing I learned from JD before he joined the board over there was he always used to tell GP, I'll come down and occupy your land over there. Because we had a roller coaster, man. JD knows what I'm talking about. You always remember the hard times, eh? We started our tournaments at Hato Petera. Basically, you know, the grass just got mowed, and then now we're playing at stadiums. But yeah, I'd like to, again, thank you for coming in. Look forward to all the seafood, the pawa, the crayfish that JD promised. Kia ora.
Ka pai, Phil, he said, I picked up on one thing, he said all the flags are the same size. I thought he was talking about shirts, but no, that's cool. One story, and I thank Tatia and Phil for the first presentations. Phil and I said, bro, we've got this tournament, we've got 2 grades, we need some Plava tournament, something for the Plava tournament. And I said, well, bro, let's go and see Cameron George at the Warriors. And we asked him for 2 hoodies, one for the 15s, one for the 17s. He says, yeah, you jack it up, and we'll do. So I came up, drove up, we went and sat in at the Warriors, and Cameron pulled us in, and the first thing I noticed, he gave us a hongi, pulled us in, and he gave us his whakapapa about where he was from, and how he'd moved to Casino, and where he was from in Lebanon, the rocks in the village. and he spoke about whakapapa. Long story short, he said, your 2 tournaments, what do they cost to run, JD? And I said, 35,000 each. And he said, okay, how many nations? I said, 7. He said, well, let's do this. I'll give you 35,000 for each tournament, that's 70. He said, I'll give each nation as a token gift 5 grand. 7 5s to 35. So it was 105,000. And he said, I'll tell you what. I said, what's that, Cameron? I didn't know if I was believing or hearing what I was, was right. He said, let's do it for 5 years. And we were in year 3, so we walked out with a deal that, so we shook hands and acted staunch and walked out of the Warriors. We hopped in the Beasley Ave in our car and we went around to that McDonald's and had a kai. Fell annoying. We got a drink and got some ice and put it on our face and said, fuck, did we just hear right? $5 million, we were going to eat 2 hoodies, but nā me to the Pack Boys. Thank you, Pātara, and yeah, I hand back to the MC. Kia ora.
Awesome, awesome whānau, and you know, because we were supposed to be doing the presentations over there, and I think we were all right over there, but then since we moved over here to the all left side, everything started shutting down, but all good. We're back on the roll there, my whānau, and as you saw the numbers there with our tournaments over the course of the 2024 season, but although we got a whole lot of pathways for our tamariki to make it into the professional spaces of the NRL and NRLW, the biggest flex, I think, that these tournaments offer our tamariki, and a lot of them, kaore e tupu ake roto I tahurea Māori, they didn't grow up e whare kura or kura kaupapa or e koanga reo. A lot of them come from the cities, a lot of them come from different backgrounds. So for me, the biggest flex of our Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League tournaments is an opportunity for these tamariki to reconnect with their marae, to reconnect with the iwi, their hapu, with the taha Māori. And I've experienced that firsthand with a few of the sides that we've taken over the years, the tamariki for the first time, being able to perform a haka, to stay at a marae, to experience what it is like to be a Māori. So, yeah, homai te pakipaki mo tērā o ngā ahuatanga, tērā o ngā huarahi, e tāi ai te whakaora anō hoki I tā ahuatanga a Māori I roto I a tātou tamariki, o tērā all the way through to our tōkana as well. So as you can see, we're moving into our first of our kai tonight, our entrees, and yeah, big mihi to our 2014 Master Chef winners, sisters Casey and Karina Bird, and also alongside our very own Tamā Hure Marae, Chef Dundee. Homai te paki paki. I'm used to boil up in or a minced stew when you go to a marae, but tonight, whānau, we're having chilled kai moana, marinated half-shelled mussels, prawn cocktail and ika mata. Nā tangaroa nā maru, ko rangi nui e ko papatuanuku e takoto nei tūriki, tūriki, paneke, paneke, tūriki, tūriki, paneke, paneke, haramai te toki, haumie, huie, taiki. Ka pai e kai whānau. While we're having our kai, I'd like now to introduce our entertainment. Tēnei o ngā kapa ko te nuinga I ahumai I te whare kura o rā kaumanga heoi ai te pōne. Ka te paina ki runga I te ingoa. Hawaii, e te hui homai te paki paki for entertainment tonight. Hawaii!
Thank you.
Atua tai ake, homai te Paki for Entertainment, Hawaii ki. Homai te Paki whānau. Awesome, okay. We've got a few giveaways, thanks to our sponsors, thanks again to One Foundation, to the New Zealand Warriors as well for sponsoring all of our kākahu and our gears for the 2024 Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League tournament. So I'm just gonna close my eyes. Actually, we'll come over to this table over here first. Okay, let's see if anybody was listening. An opportunity to pick up a hat and a blanket. First one to tell me how many participants participated, and we're going to see if you guys were watching and listening, at the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League tournaments, the total number of participants for 2024.
We're a little bit wary of people carrying blankets as gifts, but about 6,000 and 6,019.
6,019 was, well, even though he had the mic, it wasn't him answering the question there, but I'll give it to him anyway. Ane, brother. Huira mamata tai whānau, anei. All right, I'll come over to here now. Okay. Can you name the coach of the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League Wahine All-Star team? Kau? Ke konei? Kau. Oh, we got some hands over there. There you go. Oh, there you go. There we go. All right, you get a jersey and a hat over here. All right. Trying to pick on tables that definitely may not know. Yeah, that way. Oh, you fellas know. Board of Trustees know. What about this table over here? Kapai. All right, and a poto. This one here. They might know something. Shall we go over here? Although I think some of you who know this, we have to stay quiet. All right. The coach of the Māori All-Stars male team, is it A, Stacey Jones? Is it B, Adam Blair? Is it C, Adam Blair? Oh, come on, there we go. There you go. How about Ngāpuhi? Ngāpuhi nui tonu. All right. All right, whānau. We're going to now move into the part of the program where we're going to give you an opportunity to update you with our Aotearoa All-Stars who will be playing on the 15th of February over in Parramatta at Combank Stadium. It's been a pleasure to have been a part of the New Zealand base players for our Wahine space over the last couple of weekends. I got an opportunity to train with them, the first training. It was a little bit hard, so I didn't train with them over the next couple of weekends. But to our Wahine, and also I want to thank our Ngāti Pikiao whānau, the under-17s and under-18 boys who decided to travel all the way from Rotorua to come and support our Wahine. Again, just for the love of the kaupapa, just for the aroha to our Wahine, to help our Wahine, because we only had about 5 of our Wahine in that space to train over here, and our boys from Pikiao came over and upbeat them through the last 3 or 4 weekends that we've been training to give these girls an opportunity to get themselves fit for their game coming up. And also, I want to thank Māori by Design as well. and the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby staff for the koha. But Māori Design, they gave over a couple of taonga, which we've decided to give as Player of the Day for our wahine over at Combat Stadium for their game. Heoi, we're going to pass it over to JD now, ko rite tā tātou whakāturanga, to give us an update on the All-Stars.
Thanks, Parts. Just carry on, or even everyone and stuff, but just with an All-Stars update, I think it was about 7 years ago, I got a phone call from the NRL, and they said, hey, can we meet you in Auckland at the airport hotel out there at the Tainui Hotel at the airport. There was a guy called Mark DeWeed and a guy called Andrew Abdo. And I thought, oh, what's up with that? Well, some of our Māori boys playing up or something. So I went there, I went up in this meeting and I sat down there and they said, we've got a concept we want to run by you, JD. And I said, what's that? They said it's called the All-Stars. And prior to us being involved in the All-Stars, they had an All-Stars game. And it was players picked from the NRL. And they said, I said, you already got a concept. They said they're changing it. They got a initiative from Jonathan Thurston. It was Greg Inglis. It was Josh Adokar. And it was Cameron Smith. I don't know Cameron Smith had Indigenous. But I said, we had a meeting with them. They asked that they'd like to play the New Zealand Māori as First Peoples of Aotearoa. And I said, okay. I didn't want to show my excitement and go, when? But they said, watch this presentation. And they gave me a presentation. Their one went first time. So it worked out. And they said, you'll have 20 players in the men, 20 players in the wahine. And we'll pay for everything. It'll be Classic will be the provider of the apparel. Your players will get out of pockets. Your staff have to be NRL trained. And this is it. It's going to start and we're going to lock in a 3 to 4 year deal. I said, oh, look, I just have to go to the wharepaku. And I went into the toilet and got some water and rushed over my face. I go, bro, we've hit the jackpot here. So I went back out and I said, well, I might have to get back to you. I've got to think about it and consult my board. But I'll speak on their behalf and say, yeah, we accept. So we accepted. The rest is history. Our wahine toa, our staff are up there. Okay. We've got Keith, one of the kaupapas. I don't know if Rusty's here tonight, Rusty and Carla. They were our first coaches in our wahine space. And I acknowledge you, my brother, and the Umatai whānau. They were there. I don't think, what's that guy's name? Dean Wooders is not here from the Indigenous. That's good, I'll talk about him. He said to me, Rusty named his squad, and he rang me up and says, JD, Dean Wooders here. He was coaching the Indigenous woman. I said, yeah, brother. And he goes, bro, is that the best team you can pick? He said, I got more better Māori players playing over here. You know, we won a competition, we won a contest. Long story short, we beat them. And I said, remember that phone call, Dino? Oh. So well done, Rusty. Well done, Carla, and that group of girls. I see Hilda and a few others over around here. Georgina, and there was heaps of staff. And then the men, we used Stacey the first year. Was meant to be Madge, but Madge, I don't know, it was in between jobs at the Tigers. And then, when you work out Madge, can you tell me about it? Because, yeah, Madge was all over the place, but he wanted to do it, but we went Māori for Māori. So with our wahine, there's our squad. It's been down to 20. I can just tell you that Bo Teal, she won't be playing, she'll be trainer. It will be released on Monday. There's 30 there, there's 20 names, but it's confidential. So you see the first 20 names, that's not the squad. Yeah. But yeah, that's our name and that's our staff there. Pleased to say a lot of them are all Māori, they've all got affiliation, including Jason Sarts from Ngāti Pukeo. We've got Ngāti Porou, so Leilani, who's responsible for this group, Lan. So that's our staff. So it's pathways for Māori staff as well. It's not only about the NRL. The NRL are pretty insistent on having tohus and qualifications. So we work on that and we get them trained up and I know our umatei whānau, Roger and Hammond and all those sort of blokes, so they've all been involved. So that's our, that's the game info. It should be the Saturday the 15th of February, that presentation. It shouldn't be November, it's 15th of February. Parramatta, yeah. Combank Stadium in Parramatta, so yeah, that's the women. The men, same with the men. We're very lucky to have Blairy. Blairy's just relocated to Newcastle. He's got an opportunity to work in development and coaching over there. So Blairy's over there, he's our head coach. And there's the other staff. Good story there. There's a guy comes from up north. His name is Darren Perini. He coached our Māoris, coached Auckland Māori at the tournament. He came in and he started off as, what do they call him, logistics manager. And that meant that he was the ball boy in the runaround. Fill up this, drive the van, take the gear. Now he's worked his way through to manager of the team. And that's our squad. Yeah. No one from the Warriors here? That's good. I'll tell you a story. Okay. So last week, there's a special story because, as we know, they're going to Vegas. You heard in the whakatau they're going to Vegas and everything. Originally, they said they're unavailable. Fish called a meeting. Dallin attended. Chance attended. Tane Tuapiki attended. And Adam Pompey attended. And Tamari Martin's injured, so he won't be playing. The other boys said, nah, let's stick fat on this. We want to play Māoris and All-Stars. All right, we all in? They said they're all in. They went back to managers and told them, sorry, we're playing All-Stars. So that's the measure of the man and the mana. So we thank the Warriors. Thank you, Andrew Webster. You here tonight? Oh, no. Okay. But, yeah. So they were in there, and we thank them very much. So that's our squad. Yeah, that's our squad. You'll see another name in there, Orokihi. His apology, he's our cultural advisor. But he's heading down to Taranaki to win the Matatini with Whangara. So, yeah, him and his wife, he's with Sir Derek. He's his right-hand man. So they down there and they couldn't be here tonight. But, you know, just in our kapaka, you had people there. You had a moko tūru of Bob Mahura, playing the guitar. You had another moko of Rick Muru, you know, New Zealand Māori captain and legend in his own right. And there's some maipies thrown in for good measurement. And then there's Darby's daughter, Uanuku. Yeah, so there's a lot of connection in and around. And young Epi's dad is sitting over here, was a New Zealand Māori rep in the south, Epi Senior. But Harry Waikai, some of you who were born before 1970 will know Harry Waikai. Yeah, he's over here and sort of pop right people that were associated with Māori Rugby League. Jim Rootney, great names that Johnny and people remember, Johnny and Hemina. Yeah, so there's a lot of connections, there's a lot of whakapapa, and that's what brings it together. So that's our info, that's our game info, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're pleased to be part of it. We acknowledge our Indigenous brothers and sisters that have been our tuakana in terms of their history. Their challenge is greater than ours, but we work alongside our brothers and sisters. Thank you. Yeah, kia ora. Thank you. Numbers.
Ka pai. Just looking at those names, both in the female space and in the male space, I think it's almost time, that the Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League return back to the World Cup as New Zealand Māori. But I put that question to Tāwera last time we had our 80th celebrations back at Taniwharau, the greatest club in Aotearoa. Okay, right. We're going to call Tāwera up soon, but JD's got a few more presentations to hand out right now.
It's a huge help to us that we can get some sponsors. Everything's covered, but we've got to cover our own costs in terms of getting over there as a board and our kapaka ropu and stuff. We take them with us. They travel to all the All-Star games with us. So we acknowledge Massey Archibald. Massey's teaching me about property and education. He's based in Sydney. He comes from Bridgeborough. He's another whakapapa. He's a cousin to KT, Kevin Tamati. And yeah, we fortunate with Kevin at the moment. He's going through early stages of dementia. And a true Māori warrior was KT. So yeah, he's suffering. But teach me about poverty. Sorry, Kerry. We went to one All-Stars and JD Footy would do a good thing and put one foundation on the jersey. I got back and I got a phone call from Kerry. They were only allowed to sponsor it within New Zealand. So I thought I was doing a good thing, but we exposed it to millions of people over in Australia. And I thought, oh, gee, I was meant to put One Love. But it was one foundation. Oh, gee, sorry, I thought we were going to a reggae concert. And he said, thank you, JD. So, aroa mai, Kerry. Okay, but there's some sleeve sponsors. We're allowed a naming sponsor on the front. We're allowed 2 sleeves, but it's a sleeve and a back now. And there's a couple of organisations and whānau that are here tonight, and we just want to acknowledge them, and it just makes it that little bit easier that we can afford to get over there. And the first one is our taumato kupe. Thank you, Christine. Or Johnny, whatever, Tracy, Sonia. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, taumato kupe. They sponsor us, so we acknowledge them. Yeah. Thank you. Kia ora. And the other one, I'd like to acknowledge, and it's so cool. What I love about it, that it's Māori helping Māori and exposure for Māori. Okay, I've had 2 or 3, should I say, Pākehā organisations apply, but no, our priority is Māori, and especially, you know, like Taumato Kupe, wonderful whare over there. And the other one was started off on the sleeve, I've moved to the back, is Wāhi Pā from Rauhi, Pōkeka and Huntly. Wāhi Pā, marae, thank you. Thank you, Koro. We're lucky to have the chairman here with us. We thank them for thank you, Pa. So 0274 757510 if you're interested for next year. It's my number, give me a call. But we acknowledge those sponsors and people that help the kaupapa and tautoko the kaupapa. So, yeah, thank you to Taumato Kupe and to Wāhi Pā. Thank you, Pats.
Yes, once again, I want to reiterate those thanks to our sponsors for their kaupapa. Now, I talked about the Māori representation at the World Cup scene, and they did that back in 2000. And, of course, legendary broadcaster Hemana Waka called that game as well, or that tournament. But one of the biggest tournaments that games, should I say, that Aotearoa New Zealand Māori Rugby League had was in 1996. Now, it was a part of history as our stunning new revival 1996 retro Taiaha jersey is unveiled, commemorating the Māori team's triumphant 40-28 victory over the Great Britain Alliance team in Whangarei Okara Park, captained by Tawara Nico and featuring the late Neville Rambo Ramsey and the Māori Rugby League legends of that era. And of course, Neville Ramsey, legend back home in the Waikato, as well as Tawara. And I'd like to call up Tawara now to come and give us our insight into that 1996 campaign. O mai te paki Tawara Nico.
Kia ora tātou, mea te kia koutou. I'll just read you out, this is the team list that played at Okara Park in Whangarei in 1996. Doc Murray was the fullback, Danny Farrell on the wing, Ricky Henry was the centre, Whetu Taiwa was the centre, Jason Walker on the other wing, Jamie Stevens was the halfback, Paulie Howe, who's here tonight, was the halfback, Paul Rohihi Ra was the front rower, Tukere Barlow was the hooker, Gavin Hill was the other front rower, David Pearce, who played over at the Raiders, Matty Sturm, who's a local boy here too, I was the number 13, the captain, Neville Ramsey, Marlon Gardner, Sonny Whakaroe, so he's there, and Peter Milner, George Milner, sorry, and then Cameron Bell was our coach. 1996, I've got a couple of the guys. I want to get Paulie and Sonny to come up here. Come up, boys, come up. Give them a round of applause. Come up here, boys. Just a quick chat about that season. Rambo, Neville, he's no longer with us. Nev passed away a couple of years ago now. and the legend of the New Zealand Māoris. Everyone had a story about Neville. Neville the Devil, I used to call him. He was ADHD on steroids, mate. You fellas don't know what that is, but he was one of those fellas, man, you couldn't tie him down. And sad that he passed away a couple of years ago. And I played a lot of football with Neville back in the day, back in the Waikato, and then for the Māoris and overseas and too. So he was one of the guys that I really, really miss. And next year will be 30 years since we won that, had that first game. And this is the first time that the Māoris had ever beaten Great Britain in 1996. So huge occasion. So, but I want to get the boys to give their rendition and a bit of a version, just a short version, Sonny, because Sonny can talk underwater. He got the gift of the gab, bro. But Paulie was our halfback for many, many years for the Māoris. I want to get them to have a couple of words. You only got 2 minutes. Hurry, come and tell. Give us your version of the game, bro.
Kia ora. So my version of the game is, so Cameron Bell sold us a dream early on in that year. We beat them there. We went over to Samoa. We played a game over there. I think Mark Graham coached the Samoan team. And after that game, we had a bit of a debrief with Cameron. He was really wrapped with it. We played Papua New Guinea in Hawke's Bay. Cameron was still fine-tuning his team together. He brought in some new players for that, but he still kept everybody live in the squad, so everybody was chomping a bit to play for them. They announced the team for up in Whangarei, and everybody was fizzing, like everybody was rapt to be there. We could see Cameron's dream, and Tawara was leading us. What I remember most about it is that I played lots of games for the Māoris, but always overseas. So after we'd win games overseas, we couldn't celebrate with our people. So when we played the game at Whangarei, the crowd just rushed the field. So we enjoyed spending time with those guys. We went in the change room ourselves, looked in ourselves, seeing what we'd done, and amazed at what we'd done. Sonny had a photo, showed us last night of what it was. We were all happy. We went back to the hotel. We had a few beers there with ourselves, and then we wanted to go out and spend some time with the people. We actually couldn't get into a bar. Like every bar in town was full. So everybody was celebrating. So for that little moment in time, the Māori people were just enjoying being Māori and that sort of thing. And I'm not going to get political here at all, but I think the government at the moment is pushing us down a little bit. So we need stuff like this. We need to get behind the Māoris and what they're doing all around the place, just to make us feel good for that time. So I think my 2 minutes is up, so that's me.
3 days, Paulie. Thanks for that. Sonny, come on, bro. Give us a few words.
Kia ora tātou te whānau, ko Sonny whakara ta kungo. Don't believe the stories they're told us. Man, he's kore, he is kore. But anyway, whānau, the great memories I can recall from that day, that event, that victory, was the kotahitanga, the people, the crowd was huge. And when we done the haka at the start of the game, that was just, that just started the buzz going for the vibe at the whole ground. And then the crowd support there was immense. And then once we secured the victory, and then they just all rushed us on the ground. That was back in the day when the crowds could come onto the field and, cuddle you, hug you, take your shirt off you, stuff like that. And that's what our whānau were doing. They wanted our jerseys, our shorts, our socks.
You gave them your undies.
Not quite, not quite, brother. But just a great occasion. I do have fond memories of that day, and because I was playing over in the UK at that time, I played against a lot of the guys that were in the England team, and I played against them, and so I had bragging rights when I went back to the UK, which was huge. But yeah, I'm just glad to be here at this event. Yes, have a good night. Kia ora.
So for me, it was really, and it gave us the impetus to get to the World Cup in 2000. That win against Great Britain, and for the main thing for me about that game was really this real part of the significance and all those that had gone before us, all our tupuna that had played for the Māoris, because there was a whole lot of great older people, players before us that had laid the foundation for us. And it was like a sense of achievement for me because, playing for the Māoris and because I was playing in the NRL at the time, playing for Cronulla, came back to play. Cameron rang me, said, Tawara, we want you to come and play. I said, yeah, mate, I'm in straight away. No hesitation. That was, and I hadn't been playing for the Kiwis for a couple of years, but I wanted to play for the Māoris and lead them to the World Cup. So it was really about representing our people, who we are, and all those that had gone before us. So that was the most important thing for me. The memories, the camaraderie amongst the team was absolutely fantastic because we had a lot of boys that had only played in New Zealand. There was a lot of New Zealand based, but we had a few players come back from overseas, the likes of Sonny, Paul. I think there was a couple of guys playing playing over in Australia and stuff. They all wanted to play for the Māoris and in terms of the game. So we don't kind of brag me about the jersey and launching it for 1996. He said, "Oh, bro, I'm trying to find one of those jerseys. Remember that one?" He was trying to figure out what year it was, and I said, and I was talking on the phone to him, and I walked across the road, around the side of my house, and I have another room, and I put the phone up to the wall, and I got this jersey hanging on my wall, pride of place. It's one of the jerseys that I have, and I don't have too many left now, but it's one of the ones that I really treasure because being very, very significant in terms of the New Zealand Māoris. And Hemana was there. I think he was calling the game that night, Hemana? He was there. 100%. He was there that night, and the excitement in his voice and everything else that was going live on the radio all around the country for Māori, and it was just a huge sense of relief for me, it was, in terms of that. So just really want to acknowledge that. We've got a couple of players, 30 years next year, so hopefully with the Indigenous game next year, it's come back to New Zealand, JD? So we want to have a 30-year reunion for the rest of the whole team. Kia ora. So that's the aim that we want to do, try and get all the players back from that team and next year, and just to reminisce about that great victory, because that was the first time. And Sonny said, organise it so I can come back for another night out for free. But one of the things that we've been looking to, but yeah, it's just a huge honour and a privilege to represent all our whānau, those that have gone before us, but most importantly inspire and motivate our younger ones too. So just really want to acknowledge the board, the Poari, JD and the rest of the team here tonight, Dave, Tracy, Titi, our board members. Really putting something on like this really shows that we are really reconnecting with those that have gone before us too. So to everyone here, thank you all for coming. Really appreciate this. If you want to go and have a look at the game, it's on YouTube. I didn't even know. Gavin Hill was supposed to be coming tonight, but he's still working. He said he doesn't work, but he said save me some crayfish and some raw fish, he reckons. But he's supposed to be coming. But when I told him about it, he said, go on YouTube. I've never seen the game since we played in it, and I watched it the other day when I knew I was coming here, and it was really brought back some amazing memories, and especially after the match when all the people ran on the field and we were doing our hakas. So just really acknowledge 3 of the team members out. So mihi atu koutou, nō reira, tēnā koutou. Thank you, whānau.
Now, of course, Tāwara coming from Rahui Pōkeka was a big influence on us growing up. And if you look at that picture there, he was the original person that had the mullet. You see that in NZRL all the time, but he was the original mullet. And we used to rock that back home as well. And so hopefully next year, during that reunion, my bro, you got a few months to grow your hair out and replicate not only the jersey, but that mullet too, my brother. Another good thing that Tāwara talked about as well was about helping grassroots, not only our players, but our coaches and our managers as well, so that they're at that level for not only NRL, but NRLW as well. And something that he's instituted back home is that 2 coaches from the Waikato, with his relationship with the Melbourne Storm, get to travel over and work under bellyache for a week. And we had Te Whakahawe Rāpana go over this year. So thank you, Tāwara, for that initiative. And hopefully a lot of our ex-players as well can do the same and hook up some of our coaches throughout the motu to get over to those NRL clubs and see what it's like to do that. Of course, Te Whakahawe came back, thought he was bellyache, and started implementing some of those trainings at our training, and some of the boys were moaning that they're not NRL players. They just finished doing scaffolding for like 18 hours and had to come back and do that kind of training. But hopefully the boys will lock into it and they'll improve going forward. Anyway, our mains will be served now, whānau. So the second iteration of our kai will begin to come out to your tables. And once again, big mihi to our master chefs who made themselves available. Once again, homai te Pakipaki Casey and Kārena Bird and Chef Dundee. Now our mains are slow braised lamb with potato puree, with that one, mince and piju, or a slow roasted miso vegetables with potato puree and a salsa verde. There we go. That's our, hey, I watched a bit of MasterChef on the television. So those will come out now, and I'd like to welcome back to the stage, homai te Pakipaki. Another big round of applause for our kapa haka I tēnei o ngā rangi, Hawaiki.
Tui a te pope e toko tunei ka whai. Tui a tātou e tau nei ka whai. Ke whakamānawa tia te ariki nui. Kui i ngā wai hongo i te pō. E noho nei te ahu e wata pāna mātua tupuna. Pai maari re ki ae. Ke tangi hira mai ngā mate o te wā. Pai whakaara tonu ana te wahanga te tō tātou tini. Ke tangi tonu ki ae. O ngā mate o te wā haere. Haere. O ngā watu rā. Ke tātou e pai nei tēnā tātou. Te māhure marae. Tēnā koutou. Rāua. Or John. Lee. Christine tēnei te mihi kia koutou. Ko tira tātou ni nei. Kaupapa o te wā. Atua. Pāti kia. Rāua. Ro e mana mihi kawana. Rina e te o tātou kore. Tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Pai maari re kia tātou katoa.
Put
the field with our teams, but also team attack, whānau over there, Naki Teria, and our Indigenous whānau over Naki Teria as well. So one more time, big round of applause for Hawaii. Right, enjoy your meal, whānau, and we'll be back with the rest of our program very shortly.